Hello and welcome to this video on Spanish pronunciation and specifically on how we pronounce the different vowels. So let's have a look. What happens when in Spanish I come across a word that contains this letter? Okay, if that's the case, this letter, I would pronounce this letter in Spanish as A. A. I'll do it again. A. So every time I find a word with this letter, like for example, this, I will pronounce this letter as A. In this case, this word is pronounced bas. Bas. Okay, just focus on the sound of this letter for now. Bas. This just means you go. Okay, let's have a look at another word. Another word we might find in Spanish, a very, very, very common word we find in Spanish is this one. Más. Más. Some of you might be wondering what on earth is this little squiggle on top of the A. This is what we call an accent, okay? Just don't worry about it. Accents in Spanish don't modify the pronunciation of the letter at all, okay? It just tells you which part of the word is where the strength is, okay? So don't worry at all. It doesn't change the sound of the letter. So in this case, this is bas, okay? Bas. In this case, this word is más, which is the Spanish for more. Más, okay? Focus on the sound. Bas, más. Let's have a look at another word. Another word, a bit of a longer word, is this one. Abrazar. Abrazar. If you look at it, you might work out it means to embrace or to hug, okay? Abrazar. And focus on this letter, okay? A, bra, zar. Abrazar. Okay? Every time exactly the same sound. Okay? So let's have a look at the next vowel. Next vowel we will find in Spanish. I'm looking at a Spanish text. I'm finding some letters. So I'm finding some words and I find that these words contain this letter. Very common, obviously. How do I pronounce this letter in Spanish? The sound for this letter is E. Okay? E. I'll do it again. E. So, examples of words I might find this letter in are, for example, vez, vez, vez. Focus on this sound, okay? Vez. If you notice, it's probably a bit more a bit between an E and an I in English, okay? Vez. Okay? Another word, this means like a turn or a time, okay? Don't worry too much. Just focus on the pronunciation for now, not necessarily the meaning of the words. Another very common word that contains, for example, this letter. Another example, pez, pez. Notice the E, okay? Another word, another example where we will see the sound beber, beber, okay? Now, if I read beber means to drink. If I read these three words, you will see that every single time the sound of this letter is exactly the same. Bez. Pez, beber. Okay? And that's it. Every time I find this letter, every time I find an A, in Spanish is A. Every time I find an E, in Spanish is E. Okay? There are no other sounds for these letters. Okay? So that is really good news. Another vowel I will come across in Spanish is this one, which in Spanish is I. Okay? I'll do it again. I. Example, a couple of examples of words where you might find this letter. A very common word is ir, which means to go. Ir, okay? Focus on the sound of this letter for now. Ir. Another word where I will find this letter, in fact twice, is this word, bibir, bibir, okay? Bibir. So can you see every time same sound, ir, bibir. Okay. Next vowel I find in Spanish is O. Okay, I'll do the sound again. O. O. Okay, it's not O, it's not R, it's O. Again, every single time you come across this letter, this is how you're going to pronounce it. O. Examples of this letter in some words are, for example, the Spanish for gold, oro, oro, okay? Odo. Another word, very common word in Spanish, como. Como, which means how. Como. Okay? And finally, the last vowel that we will come across in Spanish is U. U. I'll do it again. U. Examples of words where I might come across this letter are buscar, okay? Buscar, focus on this letter, buscar, or for example, duro, duro, okay? Buscar, this means to look for, buscar. Notice it's a U, okay? It's a little bit like in English you would pronounce a double O, okay? Buscar, duro, duro means hard, okay? Buscar, duro, okay? So I will go again through these 5 vowels, okay, reminding you of the sound of each of them. Also, you try and think about it, okay? Try and think and try and sort of maybe think about it before I say it, okay? So remember, this letter, in Spanish we pronounce it A. This one, in Spanish is E. This one is in Spanish I. This one is in Spanish O. And this one is U. So if you want to practice, okay, you can sort of get into the habit of going A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U, and so on, okay? And every single time, each of these vowels will be pronounced exactly in this way, okay? There is one little exception with U. I'm not going to go into it right now, but 95% of times, this is how you will pronounce it. Or the rest of them, this is their only pronunciation. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's look at a few examples of words where you would find these letters, these letters present. So, for example, if I take this word, I would like you to get thinking how you would pronounce this word. Don't worry too much about these consonants, okay, because this is not the focus of this video. Focus on these 2 letters, A, E, okay? Now, while in English, these 2 letters together would develop some sort of strange different sound. In Spanish, they don't, okay? So take these 2 letters as if they're completely separate. You will pronounce each other separately. So let's have a look. Let's remember, this letter is in Spanish A. Okay, this letter is in Spanish A. Now, this letter is in Spanish, think about it, try and remember it yourself. This letter is in Spanish E. So the pronunciation of these 2 letters together is A-E, A-E. The pronunciation of the whole word is caer, caer, okay, which means in Spanish to fall. Okay, but can you see that these 2 letters, by coming together, have not changed the pronunciation of each, have not developed a funny sound? You just pronounce each of them separately. Caer, okay, caer, and that's in Spanish to fall. Another example, another word we could look at is, for example, the Spanish for to sleep. Okay, to sleep in Spanish is this word. So try and think, okay, so again, just don't worry too much about the consonants because it's not the focus of this video, but focus on these 2 vowels. So try and remember how we pronounce this vowel, which is up here. Try and remember how you pronounce this vowel, which is up here. So you will hopefully remember that this vowel is in Spanish O. This vowel is in Spanish I. So the pronunciation of this whole word is dormir, dormir, okay, dormir, to sleep. Another word we could look at in Spanish is this, okay, this is the Spanish for floor, okay, this is the Spanish for floor. And again, we've got another case where 2 vowels have come together. 2 vowels are sort of very close together And in English, probably if you found a U and an E, you would have again some sort of funny pronunciation of the two letters, so some strange sound. In Spanish, you don't. In Spanish, you look at this word, okay, so try and remember what the sound for this letter is. Now try and remember what the sound for this letter is. Now try and remember what the sound for this letter is. Okay, so hopefully you've remembered that this letter is in Spanish U. This letter is in Spanish E. This letter is in Spanish O. So the pronunciation of this word is suelo. Suelo. Okay, suelo. Can you see that I pronounce every single letter? You can hear everything I'm saying, everything that's written. Yes, suelo. Okay. Now I've got a little challenge for you. Okay, you've got one word here. I'm going to write one word, which is the Spanish for bat. Okay, the sort of little flying mouse, bat. Yes, and I want you to try and think how you would pronounce it in Spanish. Okay, according to what I've just explained to you. Okay, this is the Spanish for bat. And I'm going to highlight, I'm going to underline all the different vowels, okay, for you. So here is one. You've got another one here. You've got another one here. You've got another one here. And you've got another one here, okay? Remember, this is one of those little accents that we saw earlier on that do not change the pronunciation of the letter whatsoever, okay? So don't worry about it at all. So think about it. You've got this vowel. Try and remember how you pronounce it. This vowel. Try and remember. This one. Then try and remember this one. And try and remember this one, okay? So, in case you've forgotten, let's remember. Let's go through it. So this one is U. This one is I. This one is E. This one is A. And this one is O. So, as you probably have worked out, the pronunciation of this word in Spanish is murciélago. Murciélago. Again, focus on the vowels, okay? Murciélago. It's a very long word. It's a bit of a mouthful. But once you know how each letter is pronounced, it's got no mystery to it, okay? It's pretty straightforward, okay? So this word is murciélago, okay? So I hope this video has helped you work out and understand how the different sounds of the different letters are in Spanish, and I really hope that this video helps you lose a bit the fear to just go for it and try and pronounce it. Try and when you see a word, try and read it out loud, try and say it. What's the worst thing that can happen to you? That you get it wrong. Oh well, next time you'll do it better. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. Thank you very much.